This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. You did some fun stuff, and hopefully you didn't get stuck or are still stuck in that traffic coming back from the shore. Just before 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department was dispatched to the 1000 block of Henry Avenue in West River for a structure fire. It was a bad one. The first arriving firefighters reported fire at the rear and side of the two-story single-family dwelling. It did extend to the interior as well as to the exterior of two adjacent homes. They called a second alarm, which brought 72 firefighters from Annapolis, Prince George's County, as well as the Dunkirk Volunteer Fire Department, and took about 90 minutes to put it out. 2 adult occupants of the home have been displaced. They're being taken care of by the Red Cross. There were no injuries, and there is no immediate damage estimate available, but the cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Last week, we reported that an Odenton woman was raped in her condominium, and the Anne Arundel County Police have now made an arrest. The sex offense detectives were combing through various evidence that was recovered at the scene, and combined with statements from the victim and the witnesses, they were able to develop a person of interest. That was run through the Anne Arundel County Police Department's latent print unit, and they were able to arrest Zayon Emmanuel Cox, who's a 24-year-old male from the 1800 block of Graybird Court in Severn, Maryland. He was arrested on Friday afternoon without incident and is being held at the Jennifer Road Detention Center without bail. He has been charged with first and second degree rape, first and third degree burglary, as well as first degree home invasion. So great job for Anne Arundel County Police capturing that dangerous criminal so quickly. Hey, if you live in the City of Annapolis, you may have heard about this complicated land swap between the City of Annapolis and La Terra Homes for the Public Works facility on Spa Road for a smaller facility on Forest Drive. The mayor claims it's going to provide additional recreational facilities and a pedestrian bridge across 2 of the major roads. There are some issues, and a task force is actually working their way through it. Initially, it seems like there are 3 camps. The first camp is, don't want it. The second camp is, don't have enough information to know if I want it or not. And the third camp is, it's bloomin' great, and that's the Annapolis Mayor's Office. Tonight at 7 p.m., that task force is meeting at the Pip Moyer Rec Center, and each of the subcommittees, and there are 5, will present their findings. They will have 5 minutes each to present their findings, and then they will take questions, and then the task force will be open to public comment. It's expected to wrap up around 9 p.m., and this is really kind of a big deal for the City of Annapolis. So if you want to get out there and voice your opinion, please do it. If you just want to be a little bit informed, please plan to make that meeting something on your calendar. It is, again, 7 p.m. tonight at the Pip Moyer Rec Center. Just a reminder, the Annapolis City Council enacted a prohibition on styrofoam in food service products, and that did go into effect on Sunday. So if you are eating in a restaurant in the City of Annapolis, or if you are a City of Annapolis restaurant owner, you should not be serving food or carry out in a styrofoam container. Now, the county enacted a similar ban, and that goes into effect on October 1st of this year. And then the state also did it as well, and that's going to be coming into effect in July of 2020. Now, I will caution you, before you go out and make any kind of citizen's arrest for using styrofoam, make sure you know your municipal boundaries. Hey, if you're on the lower income side, this is something that's going to be interesting to you. SDAT, which is the Maryland State Departments of Assessments and Taxations, has a program called a Tax Credit Awareness Campaign, and there are 2 programs for homeowners and renters. For homeowners, the Homeowners Property Tax Credit Program provides tax relief for eligible homeowners by setting a limit on the amount of property taxes owed based on their income. So if you live in a high tax area and your income is not that high, you may be able to get a refund. Similarly, for the Renters Property Tax Credit Program provides tax relief for eligible renters who pay high monthly rent relative to their total income. This credit could be issued in the form of a direct check payment of up to $1,000 a year, so it's nothing to sneeze about. If you think you may qualify or you want to just check, I suggest you go check it out on the website. You can go to dat.maryland.gov, which is probably the best government website I've heard of yet. You want to click on the tax credit programs link, which will be on the left column. And finally, as we wrap it up, the Baltimore Sun reporters are blocking their bylines from their stories this week as they continue their labor negotiations with the Tribune Publishing Company. The reporters launched the byline strike Monday as a symbolic Labor Day gesture and said on social media it would continue for a week until the negotiations resume. Reporters are seeking a pay raise as well as several other benefits. And locally, Tribune-owned Capital and their Chesapeake Guild tried to withhold their bylines just for a day in solidarity, but it was denied by Tribune Publishing. Now, the reason Tribune Publishing is allowing the Sun to do it and not the Capital, the Sun is already unionized. They do have a contract in place, even though they want to have it updated. The Capital is in the process of getting a contract. They do not have it at this point, so therefore the Tribune denied their request to withhold their bylines for a day in solidarity. Not really surprising if you ask me. All right, that is about it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. We never know what's coming down the pike. If you are someplace where you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that. And make sure you let your friends and family and colleagues know about us. If you didn't check out the episode this weekend on our Legacy Business Spotlight, we had Maryland Hall and Margaret Davis, and that was a really interesting one. If you're not familiar with Maryland Hall, shame on you. You ought to take a listen and hear about all the great things they are doing. All right, you want to hang tight. We have George Young coming up, and he's got some information about a little hurricane that's coming up the coast and how it may impact us here in Anne Arundel County. He's on deck in just 1 minute.
September 28th, the second annual Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, food, and arts festival presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines. There's music all day starring the Groove Spot Band, along with the Naptown Brass Band and Vertigo Red. Watch the Plein Air Painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. That's TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 28th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, noon till 6. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, September 3rd. It's back to school day across the region, and the weather should be more than cooperative for the first big day back, with tons of sunshine and highs in the 80s. More 80s to maybe near 90 tomorrow, with a chance of PM storms as a frontal boundary starts to move through from the west, which will bring much cooler highs both Thursday and Friday, with readings in the 70s and a chance of showers each day, before what should be a great weekend ahead, with sunshine and highs 77 to 84 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. And speaking of that frontal boundary, not only will it help bring cooler temps to the region, but it will be the key ingredient that'll steer Hurricane Dorian off of the east coast of the United States, likely somewhere near the outer banks of North Carolina, and out into the Atlantic Ocean to the northeast. But it will likely bring some measure of beach erosion to the Delmarva beaches, and likely some very gusty winds to places like Ocean City and Atlantic City, with some possible breeziness across the Annapolis region starting on late Thursday and possibly lasting into late Friday or early Saturday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DCMD VA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us Saturday, September 21st at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis as we walk to fight suicide. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action. Funds raised will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/Annapolis. Together, we can help stop suicide. Go to afsp.org/Annapolis.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.